Okay, let's do another Lego. This time we're going to go ahead and do a 1x4x3. So it'll be a slightly larger brick. We're going to do the same process, create a sketch. We're going to choose the top plane to work in, and we're going to create a rectangle. Um, I don't have to be particularly precious about this. I'm just going to lay out the shape because I have to use my dimension tool in order to get anything to work, or anything set in stone, rather. So we're going to go ahead and use our formula here. This is going to be a 1x4x3. So we're going to go ahead and use the formula. So 1 times 8 millimeters minus 0.2. And I'm going to double click on this because I did not show this in the last video. If I double click on this, you can see that what has happened is it has rearranged this formula for me. And now I have a variable up here in the first part that I can change in order to increase or modify a block later. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that one. We're going to use this, or the dimension on this side right here. This is going to be my 4 times 8 minus 0.2. Okay, and you can see that it's going to do most of the math, or all the math for me really, and give me what my dimension should be. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Now remember, this is a 3-high brick, so each layer of bricks is going to be 3.2 millimeters. Since this one's 3 bricks high, it's going to be 9.6. I wish there was a better way to state that, but I haven't come up with one. All right, so you can see I have the basic shape of my brick here. I'm going to go ahead and click this top surface and create a sketch. And what I will do is lay out a stud. Again, I'm not particular about where I place it. I just want to make sure that I'm not hitting any lines, points, anything like that that will add relationships I don't want or need and would make it more difficult. So this diameter is going to be 4.8 millimeters. Again, that's just kind of a Lego standard, so we're going to keep using it. Now, I'm going to go from the center of the circle to this closest edge. That's going to be 3.9. All right. Again, that's a Lego thing. This side over here, remember, was 7.8. The halfway point is 3.9. Now, because I can take and turn a Lego brick 90 degrees and it still matches up, that means this side must be exactly the same too in order for that to work out. So that's going to be 3.9 as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my rectangular pattern tool. That's kept under create, and it's down here towards the bottom. And once I've got that selected, you'll notice a little window's popped up over here. I'm going to highlight the outside edge of that circle. And now I can use this arrow to pull this thing. Now Lego studs are always 8 millimeters apart. So I can do 2 things. I can go 8, 8, and then 8, or I can always pull out to the edge and work my way back to a multiple of 8 that I know. I know that it's 24 is a multiple of 8. And if I turn this up to 4 studs, because that's what I want, that's going to be what happens there, right? I'll get a nice array that I can use. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. You'll notice they're all dimensioned and perfect. So let me go ahead and finish this sketch, and I can start to extrude. So I'm just going to click in each one. All right. And they're going to be 1.7 millimeters high. So there you go. You can see I have a nice on-model brick. And I do need to shell the bottom. We're going to go ahead and make that shell 1.2 millimeters. Now, what I find interesting here is if you did it correctly, you'll notice that in the bottom, you will see the little divots that we've talked about in class that show where the bottoms of those studs are. You can see those in real blocks. It means we must be doing something similar to the engineers that design Lego do. All right, now click the very bottom surface down here, and I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch in here because I need some little retention posts. Remember, there has to be something that provides a little bit of friction and snap. As with everything that I do, I'm going to go ahead and put the basic shape in there. We're going to use the post style, which is a little bit older. This one's going to be 2.4 millimeters. It actually happens to be the same size as these little divots. It's just a coincidence. Okay. And then I'm going to dimension these to the edges. So because this is a one stud side, it's going to be 3.9. Again, we know that because that's the halfway point. This is a little different. This one is going to have to be centered here, or not centered. It's going to have to be a dimension from here. And this one happens to be 7.9. This is a derived value. I really only need these retention posts or snap rings anytime I have something that's at least 2 studs wide. That's what everything's based on. 2 stud wide is 15.8 millimeters. Half of that is 7.9. And again, this all comes from the property of being able to like pick it up and rotate it 90 degrees and it's still all match. All right, so I've got that in. I'm going to go ahead and use my pattern tool. I do love my rectangular pattern tool. And I can go ahead and pull this down. By default, Fusion chooses three of any object as the number, which works out perfectly for this one. I'm just going to pull it down a multiple of 8 until I know where it needs to be. That's going to be here. All right, you can see that all of my studs or retention posts are in there dimensioned. So now I can come in and use my extrude tool. I'm going to click in each one of these shapes I've just created. Oh, did it wrong, so I just click again. Now, up to this point, we've used a lot of distance for the extent type. We're actually going to change this over to to object because I want to tie this to this bottom edge. So let's go ahead and click that bottom edge, and you'll notice that those are there, even with it. Now that's useful here because it's a dimension we don't need to know, but it's even more useful in what I'm going to show you at the end of this video, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. In lieu of doing materials, which we'll get to probably after I end this video, I do want to show you something else real quick though. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. This is going to be my 1x4x3. All right. Now that one is saved in my folder. So let me go ahead and show you where that is. So 1x4x3 is right here. I'm going to go ahead and do something strange. I'm going to click here and do a save as and actually change this to a 1x4x1. All right, and you can see that I've created that other file here, but it is the same block so far. Remember, I can update these very easily. Pull that out of the way. And I do that by actually coming back into a previous feature. I can open that up. I can edit that feature. I can actually make this 3.2. Okay. And I can hit save. And now I have 2 blocks. So I've managed to go ahead and make that much, much quicker. All right. I'm going to stop the video here, but I am going to complete the drawing and all that. It'll be uploaded on Infinite Campus, and I'll add some color and stuff like that to it. All right.